Stampers. This is Alison Solven with a video today for our Step Up Stampin' series of videos that Patsy, Waggoner and I do. This is a way of showing you how to take a simple card and just step it up a little bit to make it a little bit more special if you want. So let's get started. Today I'm starting with a stamp set called Work of Art. This is going to be in the brand new catalog that's coming out on June the 2nd. So let's get started and I'll show you the first card. So this is the first card. It's pretty simple in design, but it's really kind of cute too. So you could just leave it like this. I basically have stamped the images and I've just used some of our baker's twine in the gold just to give it a little bling. Just stepping it up a little bit, I took some of the gold foil vellum and just added it here, and then just put some pearls on the little heart. So just stepped it up a little bit. And the card I'm going to show you how to make today is the final version, the stepped up version, where I've added gold embossing folder and some little sequins. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make this stepped up card. I'm going to start with a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5 and it's folded in the middle to create a card front. And then I've got my stamping piece, which is 5.25 by 4. The colors I'm using are Coastal Cabana, Melon Mambo, and Pear Pizzazz. So the first image is Pear Pizzazz. That's this kind of swishy one. I find that pear can be strong, and I didn't want it quite as dark as a full generation stamp. So I'm just going to stamp it off once and then stamp it in the middle of my card. So I'll just get a lighter version of it. Next up is Melon Mambo with the sort of smaller swoosh. I'm going to stamp the first image full strength, and without re-inking I'm going to stamp it again just to give it a little bit of dimension there. The next image I'm going to use is this long swoop, and that's with the Coastal Cabana, and I'm just going to go swoosh right across my page. And lastly I'm going to just come back in with my Melon Mambo and my heart. The next step is going to be adding the sentiment, and I'm going to use gold embossing powder for that. So I took a embossing buddy. Because this ink dries pretty quickly, I still want to make sure that it's dry before I start using embossing powder on it. I'm going to bring in Versamark ink for my image and just stamp it like so, and add my gold embossing powder. Return the excess to my little tub and just give it a little flip. Here's something fun I thought of afterwards, after I made that card. I'm going to take that heart shape again, and I'm going to use the Versamark, and I just want to do the edge of my heart here. Just kind of give it a little bit of Versamark, and then carefully place that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just on my stamped image there, and add a little bit of gold detail. Just like a little swoop to the edge. Next thing I want to do is heat emboss this. So I'm going to bring in my heat gun and just heat emboss it. So once that's done, just let it kind of cool down a bit. I'm going to bring in a piece of the foil vellum, the gold foil vellum, and this is cut to 1.5 inches by 5.25. Now to attach it to your card, I've found that glue dots work really well, and what I do is I hide the glue dot under the actual little gold circle so you can't see it, and just lining it up. Just lining it up along the side like that. I've left a little bit of a strip, that's fine. Next I want to bring in the gold baker's twine. Love this. I'm just going to do a simple knot. Okay, my battery ran out, so I'm splicing together this video. So I think I left off here where I was just putting the bow on. Okay, now I want to put this on the front of my card, and I'm just going to use dimensionals. The last thing I want to do is add some of these gorgeous sequins. It comes like this in a row, and you can use that as just as a ribbon, but I want to take off a few of these, and this is really simple. You just grab them and pull them off. So I think 3 would be good. The easiest way I find to add these to a card is either with two-way glue or a glue dot. I'm going to just put some of these little glue dots where I want my gold piece to be. What I'm doing, I don't know if you can see, is I'm just kind of taking one and kind of rolling it a little bit so that it's a bit smaller. And then I'm just going to pop these right on top of the glue dot, just like that. And then the last thing I thought would be kind of cool is I just took a bit of this sequin, not too much, maybe, I don't know, 1.5 inches, maybe a little bit more. And I'm just going to tie it, because I've got these ends here. Now if you didn't have the ends, you could just tie it with the baker's twine. Since I've got the end here, I'm going to just thread that through where I've already, I'm just going to tie it in a knot. This is our first card, which you can see is pretty simple, but still nice. And you could add a little, if you've got some of the sequins, you could add those, and that would make it a kind of a popped up card. And then the next version is adding the vellum and just adding some pearls. Then the next step is using gold embossing and just adding some little sequins. And then the one that I showed in the video is takeoff on that last card, which is still using the gold embossing, adding a little bit to the side of the heart, and just adding some sequins and some of the sequin ribbon. So I hope you've enjoyed our video today, and I hope you'll try either the simple version of this card or the stepped up version. Thanks for joining us. Happy stamping!